There is a reason you paused right here, a reason your focus settled on these words instead of simply scrolling past. Something within you recognized that this message mattered. Even if you cannot fully explain it, what you experienced recently was not random, and it was not something you imagined. A shift had already taken place, and your body picked up on it before your mind could understand what was happening. Yesterday carried an unusual weight, a quiet pressure that appeared without warning, and that feeling did not originate from you alone. Someone else reached a breaking point, and the instant their inner world gave way, that signal traveled outward and reached you. This is not about coincidence or your mind overthinking things. This is about a connection that was never completely broken, only stretched thin. Yesterday, it pulled tight enough for you to feel it. There is a powerful reason you felt drawn to hear this now. This moment is not accidental. Your intuition guided you here because deep down you already sense the truth. You know something strange and unexpected happened yesterday. There was a shift in the atmosphere, a heaviness that appeared suddenly, or maybe a wave of unease that didn't match what you were doing at that time. You could have been busy with your routine, laughing with someone, scrolling through your phone, or trying to relax when suddenly a hollow sensation pressed into your chest without warning. You need to understand this clearly. That feeling was not imagined. That sudden discomfort did not come from your own emotions. It reflected someone else's emotional collapse, reaching you across distance. This person is not doing well because of you. And when I say they are not doing well, I do not mean simple longing or mild sadness. Their emotional balance has been shaken deeply. Yesterday they felt your presence more strongly than they have at any point since the separation or distance began. The connection between two people is not limited by distance or lack of communication. Real human bonds, especially those that touch something deeper, do not follow physical rules. They move like connected currents. When one side becomes overwhelmed, the other feels the pressure without knowing why. What you felt yesterday, that restless unease that made you check your phone repeatedly, expecting a message that never came, or waking suddenly in the early hours with their name in your mind, was evidence that their emotional defenses finally gave in. For a long time, this person worked hard to build emotional distance. They convinced themselves they could move forward without you. They believed cutting emotional ties was possible, that forgetting you was realistic. But yesterday, that structure collapsed. Everything they had been holding back, every word left unsaid, every feeling they tried to silence, surged within them all at once. The pressure became too intense, and the release was so strong that you sensed it within your own body. Understanding this is important for your peace of mind, because your logical thinking likely tried to explain what you felt in practical ways. You may have blamed stress, fatigue, or your own thoughts, but your inner awareness can distinguish between your own emotions and those that arrive from outside. What you experienced was not random discomfort. It was a silent cry reaching outward. In their loneliness, this person was forced to face life without you. The weight of that realization pressed heavily on them. They discovered distractions no longer worked. Noise could not silence memory, and nothing could truly fill the space you left. They are now moving through a dark emotional phase where everything feels heavy and uncertain. In that darkness, the only light they recognize is the one you once brought into their life. Even if pride or fear stops them from reaching out directly, their energy already has. Yesterday, their inner self searched for you with urgency. That is why you felt watched, called, or strangely connected, as if someone was speaking loudly in an empty space and you were the only one able to hear it. To understand why this happened now, you must recognize that something shifted beneath the surface. There is an invisible process behind this moment. An unseen movement caused a sudden change in the emotional field between you. You may have noticed your thoughts about them suddenly becoming more intense, more vivid, almost as if they were near you. That intensity is linked to what unfolded in their private space and the emotional release that occurred. This was not an ordinary moment for them. It was a peak, a moment where everything reached its limit. Imagine this person carrying an invisible container filled with memories of you. Every memory they tried to ignore, every urge to contact you that they suppressed, every emotion they hid added to that container. Yesterday, it overflowed. Their resistance collapsed under its own weight. Maintaining emotional distance from someone who matters deeply requires immense energy. Pretending someone important is insignificant drains a person over time. Yesterday, they could no longer maintain that effort. At the same time, something may have shifted within you. Perhaps you loosened your hold without realizing it. Maybe you focused on yourself, stopped waiting, or stopped directing anxious thoughts toward them. When you stop pushing or clinging, space appears, and that space demands to be filled. When your attention withdrew, even slightly, they felt the full weight of your absence. As long as you remained emotionally connected, they felt a sense of hidden access to you. That comfort allowed them to stay distant. But when that support faded, their deeper self reacted with fear. On a deep level, they felt they were truly losing you. This fear did not appear as a clear thought. It emerged as a sensation, a tightening, a heaviness, a feeling that something shifted around them. They may have been in a social setting or trying to engage with others when a sudden wave of discomfort washed over them. Nothing felt right. Conversations felt empty. Laughter felt forced. Sounds became irritating. Their mind began comparing everything. No one understands me like that. No one connects with me like that. No one feels like that. Those comparisons became constant and they could not escape your presence in their thoughts. This emotional surge often appears as anxiety without a clear cause. On the outside, their life may seem fine, work may be stable, health may appear normal. But internally, something feels deeply wrong. They feel time slipping away. They feel that pride has cost them more than expected. They likely stared at their phone, typed messages they never sent, checked your profile, searched for reassurance that you still exist in their world. Not out of curiosity, but out of need. Yesterday, they felt you more strongly than ever because their emotional barriers had fallen. When resistance weakens, something deeper takes over, and that deeper part wants only one thing: to return to what feels like home. You represent that sense of home. The intensity of what they felt brought confusion and regret. They questioned their decisions. They wondered why they pulled away, why they allowed distance to grow, why they chose silence. Regret and guilt carry weight, and that weight is what they are carrying now. When it is said they are not doing well, it is not exaggerated. It reflects their inner reality. They are caught between desire and fear. They want you but are afraid to reach out. They miss you but doubt they will be accepted. They want to speak, but the fear of rejection stops them. This conflict creates a strong emotional current directed toward you. You became the receiver of that energy. That is why you felt unsettled. They may have tried to distract themselves, sleep through it, or stay busy. But emotions do not disappear. They find a way through. Yesterday, that emotional surge could not be contained. They realized you are woven into their life in a way that cannot be undone. Your presence left a lasting mark. This realization is difficult for someone who avoids their feelings. That difficulty turned into the anxiety you sensed. It is the fear of recognizing a mistake without knowing how to correct it. And that fear did not remain only in their thoughts. Their body responded. Missing someone is not only emotional, it is physical. Yesterday, that response became stronger than usual. Their body reacted to a truth they could no longer deny. This reaction is now affecting their ability to function normally. They feel restless, distracted, overwhelmed as the reality of losing you settles in. If you could observe them quietly, you would see clear signs that your absence has deeply affected their inner state. Without realizing it, they are no longer fully in control of their reactions. What makes this connection powerful is that it does not stay within thoughts or vague feelings. It shows itself physically. Their body responds in ways their logical mind cannot explain. The human body is highly sensitive. When emotions are suppressed and something deeper calls out, the body responds. What they felt yesterday and continue to feel today is not casual missing. It is a deep physical reaction to your absence. Their system responds as if something essential is missing. They are not only thinking about you, their entire being reflects a sense of loss. The effort to remain detached is slowly weakening. This creates confusion because on the surface they believe they should be fine. Yet their body tells a different story. One clear sign is a pressure in the center of their chest. It is not sharp pain, not something easily explained. It feels like tightness, as if something presses inward, or as if the air around them has thinned even though they are breathing normally. This sensation holds everything they never expressed, every feeling they suppressed. It is emotion with nowhere to go. Yesterday, this pressure likely intensified. There may have been a moment when they paused, took a deep breath without thinking, or placed a hand over their chest trying to ease the weight. What they felt was not physical weight, but emotional weight. It is the awareness stored deep within them that they are far from where they truly feel they belong. Their body recognizes the distance, even if their mind resists it. Along with this comes a familiar pattern: waking early, restless, unable to fully sleep, opening their eyes at repeated times without understanding why. Their rest is disturbed and their inner state remains unsettled as the emotional shift continues to move through them, growing stronger with each passing moment. They might drift off to sleep simply because they are worn out. Yet their rest remains shallow and interrupted. Their body never truly lets go or settles into complete ease. Just yesterday, there is a strong possibility they suddenly woke up sometime between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. in the early morning hours. It may have felt like someone softly called their name, or as if the entire room shifted in the quiet stillness of the night. When the mind's defenses begin to weaken and distractions fade away, their thoughts move directly toward you. This is not something they consciously decide. It simply unfolds on its own. They turn from one side to the other, trying to find even a small sense of comfort, yet the bed feels heavy with memories. The pillow carries images of what once existed and questions about what might have been. This sudden awakening is the body's reaction to the energy you carry, or perhaps to the empty space left behind when you pulled your energy back. The silence becomes overwhelming, and your presence is felt most intensely when everything else fades into quiet. Another clear sign of their current state is a deep exhaustion that does not disappear no matter how much rest they try to get. This is not ordinary tiredness. It is a weighty fatigue that makes even the simplest daily tasks feel unusually hard. Walking, speaking, or finishing basic responsibilities begins to require more effort than usual. This kind of exhaustion comes from the inner conflict they are dealing with every single day. Imagine how much energy is drained trying to convince yourself that someone important no longer matters. Imagine the pressure of pretending everything is normal while denying what your heart already knows to be true. The mind continues to say no, while the heart keeps responding with yes. This ongoing tension slowly drains their energy. It leaves them feeling empty and detached. That is why yesterday, and even today, they may seem dull, unmotivated, and almost as if they are moving through life without awareness. People around them might begin to notice that something feels different. Their eyes no longer carry the same brightness. Their natural spark appears faded. The enthusiasm they once held seems distant. The energy they once drew from your presence now feels missing, and they do not know how to replace it. Changes in appetite often come along with this emotional state. The stomach, which reacts strongly to stress, tightens when feelings of separation begin to rise. They may feel a knot in their stomach that makes eating feel uncomfortable or unappealing. At other times, they may experience sudden waves of nervous hunger, eating quickly without enjoyment, trying to fill an emptiness that food cannot satisfy. Just yesterday, food likely tasted bland and without meaning to them. Even meals they usually enjoy may have felt empty. This happens because, deep inside, their sense of emotional fulfillment is connected to you. When the soul is not receiving the connection it longs for, the body begins to lose interest in physical pleasures. This is a basic form of grief, something their body is processing even if their conscious mind refuses to label it that way. Even their senses begin searching for you without their awareness. Their mind starts to create small illusions as a way to cope. Yesterday, they may have thought they saw you among strangers or felt certain they heard your voice in a crowded place. Smell, which is closely linked to memory, may play tricks on them. A familiar scent might suddenly pass by, instantly reminding them of you, your presence, or simply the way you made them feel. In places where it would be impossible for you to appear, their mind still searches intensely for any sign of you. It seeks proof that you are near. It projects your image into reality because accepting your absence feels too difficult. They may have turned their head quickly, convinced you were there, and when they realized you were not, the emptiness likely deepened even more. Their body searches for you the way dry land longs for rain. This instinctive behavior is clear evidence that even if they say nothing and remain silent, every part of them is reaching out toward you. This is not imagination or fantasy. It follows a natural pattern of the mind and body, something that has been observed and explored by great thinkers who studied human connection and emotional bonds. When you begin to understand why their body responds this way to your unseen presence, something within you starts to shift. Doubt slowly fades away. You begin to feel a sense of calm, realizing that your intuition was not mistaken. You start to understand why this person felt as if they were falling apart yesterday, even though you were not physically present. You understand how, without any words or communication, you were still able to feel it so strongly. To understand this more deeply, we can turn to the insights of one of the greatest explorers of the human mind, Carl Jung. Even though he lived many years ago, he recognized something that modern perspectives continue to confirm. At our deepest level, we are not truly separate from one another. What appears divided on the surface is connected in ways we cannot see. Jung explained that our minds are not isolated entities drifting alone. Instead, they are part of something much greater, a vast field of shared awareness, an immense ocean of consciousness where everything is connected beneath the surface. We may believe we are independent and disconnected, but beneath that belief, there is constant communication taking place. He referred to this deeper layer as the collective unconscious. To picture it more clearly today, you can imagine it as a massive, invisible network, similar to a signal that surrounds everything, where every human being remains connected whether they realize it or not. There is no switch to turn it off. The connection is always present. Imagine this image. You and this person are like two trees growing far apart. On the surface, they appear completely separate. Each tree has its own structure, its own branches, its own direction of growth. From above the ground, there seems to be no link between them. Yet beneath the soil, their roots extend outward. Over time, those roots begin to reach one another, touch, and slowly intertwine deep below the surface. Through these hidden roots, nutrients are shared. Signals move quietly. When one tree experiences stress or change, the other receives that information through the underground system. Even without visible contact, they respond to one another. Jung suggested that this unseen connection explains why we can feel someone without seeing them and why meaningful events sometimes occur at the same time in different places. It explains why distance does not erase connection and why time does not weaken what was once real. Within this understanding exists the idea of synchronicity. Synchronicities are not random or meaningless coincidences. They are moments when the outer world reflects what is happening within us. They are signs that inner movement and outer events are aligned. When you felt sudden anxiety yesterday without understanding the reason, or when this person heard a song that reminded them of you at the exact moment they were trying not to think about you, that was not random. That was synchronicity. It was the universe arranging events to mirror what is happening in the unseen space between you. It is a quiet way of confirming that the connection is still alive. Synchronicity becomes the language of this shared awareness. It is how this greater consciousness communicates that the story is not over, that the connection has not truly ended. It is almost as if something larger is gently guiding this person back toward you. No matter how far they try to move away, they continue to encounter reminders, memories, and emotions that point back in your direction. So why did this person feel you so strongly yesterday? From this perspective, thoughts and emotions are not just ideas. They are forms of energy, just as real as electricity flowing through a wire. You may not see electricity directly, but you clearly see its effects. In the same way, emotional energy moves through this shared field, whether we acknowledge it or not. When you think of someone with deep emotion, or when you release them with genuine acceptance, you send out a wave through this invisible connection. That wave does not simply vanish. It continues to move. Yesterday, something may have shifted within your own energy. Perhaps you stopped resisting. Perhaps you reached a point of calm acceptance. Perhaps your emotional state changed without you fully noticing. Or maybe the energy that had been building quietly reached a breaking point. Whatever the reason, the connection between you became active again. This person, who is connected to you through this unseen thread, felt that emotional surge. They did not consciously choose it. Their deeper self picked up the signal before their logical mind could block or explain it. From this viewpoint, what they are experiencing now, this emotional struggle and sense of instability, is not an accident. It is part of a deeper process of growth and self-discovery. People often run from strong emotional connections because such bonds act like mirrors. They reveal parts of ourselves we would rather avoid. You become the reflection in which this person sees their fears, their resistance, their vulnerability, and even their capacity to love, which they may try to deny. By creating distance, they believed they were escaping pain. In reality, they were trying to avoid facing themselves, especially the part that came alive in your presence. But as this understanding shows, what we try to deny only gains more control over us, while what we accept has the power to transform us. Yesterday, their denial stopped working. The emotions they had been suppressing began to overflow. It pushed them inward. It forced them to feel your presence through this invisible connection. Whether you intended it or not, you created a shift that made them question the reality they were holding on to. You do not need to send messages, make calls, or appear physically to influence this person. At the level of this deeper connection, physical presence matters far less than inner state. The strongest form of communication happens in silence. When you are calm, steady, and certain within yourself, that state travels through this unseen link and reaches them. Yesterday, they felt that pull. They felt that despite the physical distance, you were more present within them than ever before. From this perspective, there are no villains or victims. There are simply two individuals moving within a complex web of meaning. The pain they are experiencing now, the discomfort, the emotional breakdown, is not punishment. It is a sign of awakening. Their deeper mind is flooding them with memories, dreams, sensations, and emotions, all working to break down the rigid structure of their ego. The ego seeks control, safety, and separation, while this deeper layer seeks truth, unity, and honesty. That is why the more they try to resist the connection, the stronger it becomes. It follows a natural balance. If they try to remove you from their conscious thoughts, their unconscious will bring you back even more powerfully. If they avoid you during the day, they may dream of you at night. Understanding this returns a sense of power back to you. You are no longer dependent on a message or a call to confirm what you already feel deep within yourself.